What are my options if my work is no longer possible or suitable for me?
Okay, well, again, it depends on what is suitable for you and on the employer. I mean, if you're working for a large employer, then they have a duty in any event to look for alternative roles for you. And there may be, in big employers, there may well be alternative jobs you can do. The important thing is never to resign if you can help it. But it's much easier to get a job from a job, and the employer might terminate your employment, but you know there might be some kind of deal you can come to. So the first thing I say is don't resign. See what the possibilities are for finding something elsewhere or coming to an arrangement. And then I think the issue is not rushing into the next thing, in that, you know, you've had cancer, you've been through a really stressful time. It's actually quite useful to take a step back and say, what's right for me at this stage in my life? What do I really want to do? You know, what are my values? What's important to me? How would I like to spend my time? And that might mean doing some kind of self-assessment or getting support with a self-assessment, so you can be clear about the kind of role, the kind of hours, you know, things like, do I want to travel? Do I just want to do a few days a week? Do I want to work in the private sector or the voluntary sector or the public sector? So it's worthwhile taking, if you can afford to do it, I'm aware there's money at stake here, to take some time to think about the next step. And then again, because I'd also say is that particularly if you're just recovering from cancer, if you're looking for a job and you're going out for interviews, you have to be at your best in order to do those interviews well. You need to have the energy and the commitment and the presence, as it were, a bit like acting, to come across well. And if you're not feeling great, then it's going to be really disheartening to kind of slog your way into interviews, do badly, and then get rejected. So I think it's about doing your research, doing your homework, looking at some websites, maybe some specialist websites if you have a particular professional expertise, if you're an HR professional, like I used to be, or a lawyer or an accountant, or in marketing or social media, there'll be specialist agencies, specialist publications, specialist websites where jobs will be advertised. So I would focus on those rather than just scattergun approach. It's also useful to network. The more you can network, the more you can find jobs through friends or people you know who will make introductions for you. Because the last thing you want to do is kind of just be ringing up people coldly, or if you can help it, don't apply for jobs coldly. Try and apply through somebody you know.
Okay. And if I get to the point where, because of my illness, I feel I'm not going to be able to work in the longer term, what are my options there?
Well, again, interestingly, I mean, I've coached people who are terminally ill and have continued working up until, you know, with obviously adjustments in place, a week or two until their deaths. I mean, it's all about what you want to do. Clearly, if you can't work, you don't want to work, you might want to do a bit of volunteering, then what you should do is make sure you're clear about your benefits that you can claim in order to remain financially viable. And I would approach two organisations in particular, Macmillan, who have a terrific benefits advisory service and also have a great booklet called Help with the Cost of Cancer, which is worth getting hold of. You can download it as a PDF from their website. And the other organisation, which equally provides great benefits advice, is Maggie's, the Maggie's Centres. And they have, I know certainly the London Charing Cross Hospital, I think they all do. The Maggie's there have a benefits advisor who can give people advice and also potentially help complete some of the forms, which can be difficult if you've got chemo brain and fatigue and all the rest of it. Okay. So worth approaching them.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm in employment and I'm officially in employment but probably not working and feeling that I'm not going to be able to go back to my work.
Well, that's an interesting question, and I would say don't make any rash decisions, because remember, while you're employed, you're protected. against, you know, discrimination, and you might still be being paid or getting money in some form. So I would always go through the process of trying to return to work. And if that doesn't work, then you can make another decision. But also when we're having treatment, you know, some of the treatments we have affect our emotions as well as our physical ability to do things. And sometimes we can say, you know, I'm never going to do that again. And you might find in a few months' time you've changed your mind. Expect the unexpected was the words I used earlier, and I would say exactly the same thing. So don't rush any decisions while you're having treatment.
Okay, thank you.